So I was just driving home from work, and I turned on the street, tried to get into third gear, and my clutch would not disengage. The car wouldn't go in gear, and the clutch pedal literally just stuck to the bottom of the floor. So I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for a tow right now. I have no idea what it could be. Got a couple ideas, but we're just gonna have to wait until we get the car back to the house, get it in the air, and really look into it. So my two buddies from work ended up seeing me on the side of the road, and they pushed me into a parking lot. So huge shout out to my boys, appreciate it. While they were here, we were trying to look at what was going on. I saw some fluid kind of like underneath the intercooler, and while he was looking in the hood, I pushed the clutch in, and fluid is spewing from my master cylinder. So that sucks. I don't know 100% if it's completely shot, or maybe something got disconnected, or something's loose, or so, I don't know. Looking at it firsthand like that, as much fluid was coming out, not looking great. But I'm waiting for a tow right now, and then we're gonna get the car back to the house. Nate's gonna come over, and we're gonna get it in the air and really look at it and diagnose it. This coming 2 days before fucking track day really sucks. But if I'm gonna be realistic here, I'd rather this happen 8 miles from home than 109 miles from home. So cross your fingers it's fixable and we can get out on the track still. So right here is where all that fluid's leaking out of.
I think it's just coming straight from the bottom.
Yeah.
Alright, push it again. Alright, go ahead. Yeah, dude, it's coming right from the bottom of that thing. It's coming right from the bottom.
We figured it out, it was the master clutch cylinder shot. We ended up looking it up and finding out on forums that it's like a really common problem with Subarus, especially, I mean, pretty much always, I guess. And it's the exact same thing that happens in the exact same way. Clutch was squeaking yesterday. I was like, what's going on? And then boom, it fucking dropped today. So I ended up calling Advanced Auto and tried to see if they had it in stock. I know it's a complete risk, but they ended up not having it in stock. They were gonna charge me $209 to have it shipped by Tuesday. So we shut that down, called my Subaru dealer, and they had it in stock for way cheaper, and we already have the part, and we're going back to install it right now. Start off here, we're gonna take this hose right off that leads to the brake fluid, and I'm gonna plug it with a screw bolt.
There you go, it's coming out.
Here we go.
Put that bolt in it.
Boom.
So basically we're gonna do this so all this brake fluid doesn't just leak out. So we're just it's just plugging it just so we can work on the clutch master cylinder.
Alright, so next we're gonna take out this solid clutch line here. We're gonna take it out from here, and probably, I'm assuming it's just gonna swing out of the way so we can get access to the actual cylinder bolts in the back. And yeah, it's a 10mm bolt. You're definitely gonna want to be super careful when you're doing this because these lines can be very fragile. So let's hope I don't mess it up. Make sure it's turning.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not turning. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
You're looking to remove is what's in my hand right now. Like I said, you pull that pull pin out, and then you can just squeeze the top, the white piece right there that holds it in there. You just squeeze it with needle nose pliers, or if you have enough grip, you can get with your fingers, and then just pull that out through, and then that will disconnect your cylinder from the connector. So Nate had to run home and get a better set of wrenches that are specifically made for lines, like those steel lines like that. Mine were just basically slipping off of it. We don't want to strip it because that line, that's super important. If you mess up that nut, literally you have to get a whole new line. So that is not the objective here. Let's get one thing fixed at one time here. So while he's gone, I got the 2 bolts holding in the master cylinder disconnected. It's disconnected on the inside. Only thing that needs to get disconnected now is this line here. Now we just gotta wait for Nate to get back, and hopefully we can get this on the roll here. You don't have a turkey baster and you gotta get shit done, you make it fucking happen.
That knows how to do it.
So we just threw some WD-40 on that brake line bolt, just to let it, release a little bit, because it's kind of tight before. We really don't want to ruin that bolt. But we did get a nice line, a line wrench here, so that should get the job done. And once that line gets out, that whole cylinder will slide right out. Just have another.
It's a tight fit.
There we go.
That's why.
Ready?
Hold on. Hold it.
So we're having a really hard time getting that nut off of the brake line. So instead of taking that one off of the cylinder, we're going to take off the one that it's connected to over here, and we're going to at least try to. So if we can get that off completely, we can try to work on the main one that we need to replace, free of the car. We're being forced to basically take the whole assembly apart right now because Subarus are silly. We're using the exact fucking right tool to use on these brake lines, and they're just not budging. So we are going to disassemble this entire mechanism here just to get this off.
Clearly the seal broke.
Oh yeah, you can see it right there.
Clearly it's a piece of garb. Thanks, Subaru. We're gonna make her work here, bud. Whether it wants to work or not, we're gonna make it work.
Come on. Why did I do that?
Got it.
Got it. Fucking right, buddy. You little asshole. So look at this little sack of garbage. You really shouldn't have to take off as much as we took off, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So we have everything on this side back reassembled besides the main hose that will be reattached momentarily, and then all we have to do is connect the cylinder rod with the clutch inside the car, and we should be able to fill this thing back up with brake fluid and get ready to go. We plan on doing this before we went for the trek on Saturday anyways, so it's kind of like we said earlier, it's incredibly amazing that this happened 8 miles from home compared to being in a different country on the side of a track. Not even, we probably wouldn't have made it. Yeah. So best case scenario right now. But this is the racing brake fluid that we are going to be putting in the car.
Get this fucking thing off. Get it on. Yeah, it's 10.
The more I work on this car, the more and more I learn that Subarus really are just junk, to an extent. This is what we just had to do to get the bolt from stop spinning, because from taking the bolts off to get the shift assembly free from the bottom of the car, the top bolts here were just spinning, so there's no room to get actual vice grips in there. So Magic Brain Nate made his magic work. I got it off. You're also probably thinking, buddy, didn't you just do this the other day? If you watched that first video, you know why we're doing this again.
Also, these are Matt's tools.
You like that? That's a fucking unit right there. That's a fucking unit. Just jealous. Any kind of positive in this, we're flying through this right now because, well, we did it a week ago. Well, maybe 5 days ago. So this will hopefully fix. So here, I'll show you the issue here. You can see it right when you look at the thing. So there's a spacer in here that is supposed to go on the inside, and instead we put it on the outside, so it's not giving that this pin here enough room to rest properly, and it's not getting in the groove, and that's why that check engine light came on. I haven't gotten the check engine light since that day, but it's still why we need to fix it. So that's what we're doing right now. So, if you remember the video, when I took it out in the kitchen, a little piece came out. This is that little piece. This is the piece that I was claiming that was stripping the plastic. It was stripping the plastic because it wasn't supposed to go there. You can see right here is where I had it like this, when it's supposed to go through this slot like this, just the way it fits, right in there. So that's where that will sit in there properly. So that is where our issue was, and that is the only thing we didn't do correctly. So this should be put back together properly, should work 100% perfectly, and that should be it, man. We should be good to go.
Should.
Yeah, we did it.
Hey, well, it's pretty freaking quick this time.
It was really quick. I mean, this is just straight up showing off right now. Come on, Sally.
So anyone needs their shifter installed, just give us a call. We won't do it.
Alright, so we're gonna go to the gas station, fill her up.
What's the feel? Tight.
Feels like a fucking unit. Hey, Boomba, the shifter's all back together. The clutch should be all set. No bleeding when you're clicking on it, pumping on it, I should say. Just gotta get over this mental thing,
Yeah.
and just fucking rip it. This feels light years better. Like that clunking getting in, it's gone. All right, Bubba. Yeah.
Friggin' ripper.
Full tank of gas. Car should be 100% legit. I figured it's better to rip it right now and really, crank on it, make sure everything is good before we take off tomorrow. So much smoother. That was the biggest issue. Obviously, we knew it wasn't back together correctly, but it was getting the job done. The car was driving, but every gear just didn't feel right. So on top of the master cylinder going yesterday, just couldn't be too careful. Obviously, we needed to get that fixed. And it's night and day.
So